Red rain. Not as fun to drink as red wine.
And not as creepy as red rum. Red rum.
Well, I don't know. The red rain was blood.
Red rum. Sorry, Stephen King references. Never mind.
Do you know how long it took me to get that was just murder backwards?
Hey, spoilers.
It's literally, that's it. That's all you, that's not really a spoiler. You can just look at the fucking word and go, oh, that's murder backwards.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, welcome to the special reboot edition of Charmed Chats with Kendra.
And Kat.
Today we're covering episode 21, Red Rain.
Yup.
Uh-huh. Also not as fun as Purple Rain.
Well, I mean...
Or Purple Haze.
At least it's quieter than when doves cry. Let's get to that summary, shall we?
Yeah. Maggie hears Parker's voice, but cannot get her sisters or Harry to divert their energy from the prophecy, now in flowchart form. Galvin calls them to the hospital where he suspects a demonic epidemic. The girls wonder if they're too late to stop the Harbinger being released. Nico is wheeled in slightly better condition, and Maggie discovers she has a case of the infodumps. I knew you'd like that. Greta breaks up the party. Macy, in the lab, finds that the virus is identical to the one perpetrated by the Harbinger. Alistair's lair has been abandoned. Maggie uses a psychometry spell to see Parker. It's not a happy memory. At the hospital, a man infected attacks a doctor. The girls realize that Hunter served as a disease vector, causing all of this mess, when he was vanquished. Mel returns to Nico to find that Greta removed the protection ring, and now Nico is infected. Maggie has a very breezy vision chat with Parker, who tells her Charity is the last sage. Harry decides he might know where she is. Macy, Mel, and Galvin find the infection has spread beyond the hospital. An ominous black cloud rolls in, as do the deafening screams of human torment. Galvin figures that he can use the spell he got for Macy to help the infected. Maggie and Harry find Charity, who is trying to harvest a plant so she can perform a spell to hide herself. Harry fetches Mel to help, and a demonic Parker, with better hair, appears. It was a trap! Thank you, Admiral Akbar. Harry removes Charity, and Mel and Maggie fight Parker. Maggie is able to get through to him long enough to tell him he didn't kill his mother, but his demon side returns when she refuses to vanquish him. Fiona assures Alistair that she knows how to find Charity. In the Vortex Viribus, Fiona ambushes Charity and Harry. She kills Charity and portals out with barely a snarky word. Outside, the sky looks like it's ready to unleash that promised deluge of blood. Alistair kidnaps Maggie from her front porch. Galvin completes the ritual by sacrificing himself. Harry takes Macy back to the house. The scales, despite the recovery of all of the infected, remain stubbornly tipped towards evil.
Dun, dun, dun.
Macy uses basic meteorology to pinpoint where they'll find Maggie and, by extension, Alistair. They find her tied to a tree, and Fiona calls down some pretty black lightning. It kills her, because her immortality was stripped, but lights a ring of black fire around Maggie. Parker arrives just in time and is about to take on the Source to save her when Macy intervenes. She removes the origin dagger from Parker, stabs herself, and then steps through the flames. As the Source, Macy's first action is to immolate Alistair. Parker tells Maggie to stay away from him and runs. Macy transports them all to the house, but before they can raise any concerns, she's off again. She, naturally, brings Galvin back to life. The end.
Yeah. I do believe the deafening sounds of human torment is my Grateful Dead cover band.
Cool.
And I wrote it in my notes and I was like, so typical Tuesday? Wait, that's Buffy.
Yeah.
Because there was the two jokes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go either way on that one.
Yeah.
So, I love that they let Harry have some Britishisms. Because he mentioned they were cocking it all up.
Yeah.
I love that they can let that go through.
Yeah, the first, 2 minutes felt weird.
It really did.
It felt like it was gonna turn out to be a dream sequence.
Right?
Especially when Harry says cocking it all up. Like, he doesn't swear.
Right. It's
So,
very weird. The entire beginning of this, I was like, okay, wait. She hears Parker calling, but he can't hear her back. So, is it really him? Is it just a trick?
Is
it
he
really
asleep?
No. I was like, is it really him and it's just a trick? Like, there were so many thoughts, like, right there at the beginning. I was like, this is weird. I don't trust this, like, at all whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But then I enjoy that the prophecy is written down
As a demon of human born.
Yeah. It goes, when the weakest of men reaches ill-gotten glory is step number 1. Step number 2 is the movement's great sages fall.
Right.
Step number 3 is with the blossoming of death.
That's very vague.
Right. And then it's if all 3 comes the awakening of the source of all evil and we fall in all caps and underlined like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And something about the vessel being demon of human born.
Right.
Which we are very staunchly led to believe is Parker.
Right.
Will be Parker. And then Macy comes out of left field and she's like, bitch, please. And that, frankly, that was a good twist.
That was a good twist. I kind of saw it coming.
Well, yeah, because she's part demon and obviously, like...
Only because she's part demon, we've now had you have the yin-yang necklace that can pull you back from the bad side no matter how bad it gets.
Yeah.
And we've learned that the power is the same.
Yes.
Like, the power that the evil gets and the power that good gets is the same power.
Mm-hmm. I was expecting more along the lines of, Parker gets the source and does not be evil. That's kind of what I was thinking they were heading toward.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been the formulaic answer. Like, oh yeah, Parker gets it, but because he's still, like, good inside, he balances it and it becomes, effectively neutral.
Yeah, like, I thought
he
it was
doesn't
going to
do
be...
his dad's plans.
I thought it was going to be he becomes the source... But Maggie's love saves him. Like, I totally thought that's where they were going to go with it at first.
No, yeah. But no, having Macy just fucking pick it up. And we still have one more episode left.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Although I will say I was super right about Charity dying. Very quickly.
I mean, yeah.
What did she get, like 2-3 minutes of screen time? It was fast.
Yeah, it was super duper fast.
Also, how was Parker tracking Maggie? Does he just have a bead on her because emotional relationship?
I don't know.
Because, again, he doesn't show up to the tree until the fire is lit and she's in danger. Mm-hmm. Like, what is his connection to her specifically?
I don't know. I think this is my favorite logo ever. Mm-hmm. Where it was like a heartbeat monitor.
Yeah.
That turned into the words.
Yeah.
That was the coolest.
That was rad.
Like, it was
I think
so
I liked
unique.
I think I liked the eyes just, like, a little bit better. Just a little. That's just my preference.
Yeah. I liked this one because it was so different.
Yeah.
I think that's why I liked it so much. Mm-hmm. Because the other ones are all, the word comes out and then
it's
something
like a different
happens
style.
Right. But this was like heartbeat monitor and then it turns into the word and then just like, oh, neat. Mm-hmm. Super cool.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Speaking of heartbeat monitor, which means we're at the hospital. Nico comes in, they wheel her in, and she's still wearing the ring.
Yeah, they would have taken that off.
The EMTs would have taken it off.
Yeah.
Like, she's in a hospital gown. Mm-hmm. But she's still wearing the ring.
It's protocol to remove all of your jewelry and put it in a bag because, A, you don't want rings or necklaces or whatever interfering with whatever the doctors have to do. If it's on her right hand, that's generally where they put the oxygen monitor.
Yeah.
So they'd want the finger completely free for that. Mm-hmm. Was she even wearing an oxygen monitor? I don't recall. This is a TV show. They don't have to do it.
No, she was not.
And, like, if it swells up, they don't want to risk it, like, constricting your blood flow.
Right. So my first thought was...
Also, if you die, they can just hand the bag to whoever's your next of kin. Like,
Right.
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Right. So my first thought was because the whole, like, everybody's coming in, Galvin has gotten the girls there because everyone's bleeding from the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. But when Nico comes in, she's
Just
not.
nose.
It's just bleeding from her
From her nose.
her nose. Galvin says she's not bleeding from her eyes or ears, which means she's bleeding from her nose and mouth.
We don't see any from
We
her
don't
mouth,
see
though.
any from her mouth, but he didn't mention it.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Like, my first question, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, did somehow she's either involved in whatever is happening and the ring is protecting her, or Mel telling her that she was under a spell fucked with her head and it's hurting her, or a combination therein.
Yeah. No, the ring appeared to have been protecting her from the actual fucking infection.
Right.
But
it was the spell, learning about the spell fucked up her brain.
Yeah, because the handy shortcut for, brain working too hard is nosebleed.
Yeah.
In TV, at least. Ear is loud noise. Eyes are you about to die.
Uh-huh.
Mouth is you probably have internal bleeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
And then we have Greta coming in and immediately getting pissy because Mel is there. And so, like, the second she walked in, I was like, okay, how long before Greta takes the ring off? Because that's what's going to happen, right? Because Nico is unconscious. And as soon as Mel and the girls and, like, everybody leaves the room, Greta goes over to Nico, sees she's wearing the ring, and immediately gets a look on her face. And I was like, then. She's taking it off right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how long before Nico is infected?
Yep.
Because, like, for some reason, we had to have this happen.
Yeah.
And then...
It was interesting that Harry wasn't able to heal Nico, like, at all, even though it wasn't the Harbinger. Like, I get that it's, magical memory shit.
Yeah.
But, like, he couldn't even seemingly help at all.
Right. So that's my other question. At this point, they still don't know that Charity is out of Tartarus, but they know that the Harbinger was in the paint can, and the only people who can get the Harbinger out of the paint can easily is them and Charity. And none of them put it together once they figure out that the Harbinger is loose, that Charity is also loose. Like, what?
I mean...
Once again, we had to have Parker come in and mansplain. Of, Charity is the last one. Charity's alive. She's out of chart. Like,
I don't consider that mansplaining.
I'm being pedantic, but...
Yeah, I know. Well, pedantic people are usually right.
Well,
Burn! I'm kidding. Thank you for flipping me the bird.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand why none of them put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I mean, look at how long it took Maggie to put 2 and 2 together about Lucy.
It's true. But
like,
Lucy wasn't...
We have established...
Lucy wasn't as blatant. Because Lucy was just being weird, but,
Yeah, but, like, it's an Occam's razor thing. Sure, obviously Charity's one of the ones to open it up, but if you think Charity's in Tartarus and not out of it, like, being able to do shit, why would you think she would have done it?
But that's what I'm asking, is why wouldn't they at least question of, okay, this looks like the Harbinger's back, but the only people who can open the paint can is us and Charity, and we didn't do it.
Yes, but, like, again, Charity's in Tartarus as far as they knew at this particular moment.
But they never questioned the fact. That's my only concern about it. It's like they don't be like, did she somehow get out? Like, even if they had just questioned that fact.
I think they just assumed that because she's in Tartarus, she couldn't have opened it from Tartarus and then it come out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm thinking way too much into it, I'm sure.
Yes.
But it was just...
But that's what we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I also love that Mel's ability to freeze. She can apparently freeze the entire hospital, or at least the entire floor of the hospital.
Yep. At least all of the quarantined area of said hospital.
Yeah.
Which includes the waiting room, which has doors that are still opening.
Yep.
How else did she get in there? Those doors.
Yep.
And yeah, again, no consideration for, oh, this person saw me and then I held out my hand and then I was gone. Like, I mean, granted, at the end, Macy's just like, I fixed it.
Yeah.
I erased all of their memories. They don't know any of it happened.
Yeah. I want to know what the repercussions of that is going to be.
I know. She's like super powered up. Like, also, the twist is effective because you wouldn't expect one of the sisters to take on the source of all magic.
Right.
Because, like, that's bonkers.
Right. And that makes me wonder what's going to happen next episode of, like, how are they going to resolve this?
Yeah. Because, like, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if you've got a yin-yang pendant to balance yourself.
Yeah. I also enjoy that...
And then naturally she has to go and, like... Well, obviously I have to fix the fact that Galvin's dead.
Well, I mean, duh. But I like the fact...
Kind of wonder if the fact that, you know, he sacrificed himself for all of these people, unsacrificing himself is not going to bring back the Harbinger disease, certainly, because she can just erase that. But, like, it kind of makes the whole thing a bit meaningless.
I mean...
A bit hollow.
Yeah, a little bit. So... This is where I question. Galvin was all about doing this ritual to save Macy from the demon, knowing that there was going to be a sacrifice needed.
Yes, but remember, previously all we'd heard was that his Gromere had lost a finger. And that was to save a person. Just one person. So he probably... knew, there's going to be some form of sacrifice, but didn't know until he was in the middle of the spell what the sacrifice would be. And he's like, oh, this many people, it's going to be all of me. I should tell Macy that. Oops.
Yeah, but like that, it just makes me question. Like, I like the fact that even though he doesn't want to do something, he's willing to do something.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how he's going to feel about being brought back.
Yeah.
Is it really gonna be him?
Yeah, that's the other question.
Is it gonna be kind of twisted? We're gonna have a practical magic situation on our hands? Probably not, but like, close? I don't know.
Yeah. There so many questions. The other thing that is, again, one of those, is this going to be a dropped thread, or is it going to get picked up?
Dropped stitch.
Is the...
Thank you, Blue.
The flower. Charity finds herself in the garden, is pulling up the flower because it's apparently the last one.
Or even if it's not the last one,
it's the only viable one at the moment, or whatever.
It was the closest one. It was the one she happened to pull out, and none of them are blooming.
Yeah. She needs a witch to do time magic on it to make it bloom.
Because they take years. It's like a corpse flower.
Right. I get that. I don't have an issue with that. We then take her down into the magic basement.
Where Harry presses his...
Right. Harry tries to power up.
It looks kind of like a hibiscus flower.
Right.
A little bit.
Right. Because Mel tried to do it. She got it the part of the way there, and then Hunter showed up to... Parker showed up to attack. So... Harry tries to finish it out. But in the basement, Fiona finds her, winds up killing her. But the flower is now on the floor.
Yes.
So is that going to come back? Is that a thread that's going to come back? Are they going to wind up somehow needing that flower to make the smokescreen spell, I don't know, maybe on Nico or on Galvin?
I mean, I guess they don't really need the spell on Nico anymore because Hunter is gone. Alistair is gone. I love that he thought Macy was just going to order him to do stuff.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, she did kind of order him to do something.
Well, he's like,
I'm at your die.
Yeah, I'm at your service. Great. Then perish.
Yeah.
Obama gif.
I will do anything. Well, good.
Obama
you get to be
eyes.
by now.
Yes.
Yes.
You get to burst into flames and float away on the wind.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the visual effect of, there's all this black fire and then it tornadoes around her when she steps into it. And then it turns gold. Like, dark shifting to light in a way.
Yeah, it was quite nice. I also kind of love the fact that Fiona didn't realize she wasn't immortal anymore, so the flame so like she's freaking out about the flame killing her.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I also love that in that moment is when Alistair realized that she was only doing it to destroy all magic.
Yeah. Well, because she said it.
I know, but I just love that that's when he figured it out.
It's like, that was your fucking plan? You bitch!
Oh, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
And I love the visual.
Parker's hair was better.
Well.
As a demon.
Yeah. But I love the visual of Alistair's Vanquish.
Yes.
That was one of the coolest CG moments.
They took time for it. And I think that's what I loved about it. Like, they also took time for Fiona's, and you could kind of see, like, her chest glowing, like, through her ribs and stuff. And there was, like, the hole in her sternum. But yeah, the time they took for Alistair, where for a split second, I was like, oh, is she just destroying the demon in him and, like, flipping him to good? Which would be an interesting choice.
That would have been very interesting.
Because she is the source of all magic at this point.
Right.
And, like, it can go either way. So you'd think, well, if the origins are all the same, I can change his origins from being a demon to being a creature of good. Yeah.
I thought there was a possibility of going that way, but
that would have been really cool.
But I'm wondering if they're going to do that with Parker.
Maybe.
Macy being the source, she's going to take the demon out of Parker.
Maybe. I don't know.
Which we'll have to wait till next episode to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that was my thought. It was like, okay, because at the end of the episode, she's like, there's one more thing I have to do. She goes to fix Galvin, which we all knew was going to happen. Yeah. But then she comes back and she goes, I'm going to fix everything. Which seems very final. And a little worrying.
Well, yeah. Again, absolute power.
Uh-huh. But the fact that she has the balance of both the good and the bad.
Well, I mean,
and we have a season 2 coming up. Mm-hmm. She's not going to go bad. At least, I hope so.
See, the thing about the whole balance of good and evil is that narratively, everyone's going to be, like, rooting for good.
I mean, yeah.
And that's a balance tip. Like, there was that one episode of the original series where they went to the mirror universe. And everything was evil. Like, it was literally like Star Trek, just mirror universe, evil kind of shit. 6.
Okay.
End of 6.
Spoilers.
And then they...
Don't know it.
Some shit happens, and the scales for each world tip further. So the good side tips way far to good, and it's a problem. The bad side tips way far to bad, and it's a problem. And they have to join forces to tip the scales back into being at least somewhat balanced for what they know.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's going to happen here. If Macy's tipping it too far to good, upsetting some kind of cosmic fucking balance.
Yeah.
And also, can she handle that shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions coming up. There's a lot of questions in, like, when she says she's going to fix everything, is she going to bring the elders back? Is she going to try and fix Parker? Like, is this going to be resolved by the end of next episode, or is it going to continue into season 2? Is she going to somehow...
I mean, it's going to be overreach either way.
Yeah. It was like, is she going to somehow figure out how to get the source out of her and put it into something contained? Is she going to... Like, there are just so many questions that this episode has opened up.
If you remove the origin dagger, does the source leave you? Does it go back to wherever the fuck it came from?
Right.
Do you restart the prophecy?
She still has the dagger inside of her.
Can she fix Trump?
No. Nobody can fix Trump.
I don't know. There are a lot of vasectomy doctors.
Yeah, I'm not going to even go there because I don't want to think about him in any capacity in that way.
Yeah.
Anyway. Final thoughts?
This one had better pacing than last episode, for sure.
Yeah, like I'm going like 8.75. Mm-hmm. Like this one was much better. it gave me so many questions.
Yes, I've heard you ask them. I was very happy with the plot twist. It didn't feel like there wasn't any basis for it. It only a little came out of left field, but it was also like, oh yeah, of course I can see the foundation for this once it's happened.
Right.
Which for other shows is not very true.
Yeah. And I will admit that there are a lot of
watch
shows.
that show.
Well, there are a lot of shows that
do shock value.
Or they telegraph it so early on that you get to the end and you're like, yeah, okay, I knew this.
Yeah. You've watched enough television where you can pretty much call everything. Right. And I can like sort of call some things, but I'm often surprised. And
this one was definitely, there were some things that I absolutely called it, like Greta taking the ring off and Macy bringing Galvin back from the dead and whatever. Like
the ring coming off was inevitable once you saw it was on at the hospital.
Right. Like all of these things was like, okay, these little things I totally get. But then there were some moments of blindside of like, I did not expect Macy to take on this horse. Mm-hmm. Like that's just okay. Like, is she going to somehow bring back their mother? Is she going to bring back the elders? Is she going to save Parker? Like, is she going to bring back her dad? Like, there are so many questions of, like, what is she going to do to fix everything? I would love it if she brought back
her dad. I want to meet Dexter.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I want
Maggie to join her in the lab.
I want Maggie to meet him.
Oh, yeah. That would be great. Yeah, we haven't really had the whole I didn't have a dad conversation. Yeah. We had the whole, oh, shit, I'm black conversation.
Yeah.
But not the my dad.
Yeah. There are so many things that can still be done. Mm-hmm. Not next episode, but next season.
Yes.
And I'm very excited and like anxious about where it's gonna go because like I don't know what's coming and it's so weird like to have an inkling of a thought of like, well, it might go in this direction or it might go in that direction, but like
I can't wait to see what they post on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. One more episode.
One more.
See how that all comes to end for the season.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's probably going to tie up more than it leaves loose.
I hope so.
Because,
I really hope so.
I forget if they knew. I think they might have known that it was getting picked up when they filmed, but certainly not when the script was written or anything.
I hope that no matter what happens, it doesn't leave on a complete cliffhanger.
Oh, God, no. I hate those.
I hate it so much. Like, that is the one thing about TV shows that I absolutely hate. Whether or not they know they're getting another season, I understand you want people to come back, whatever, but at least give us some closure just in case.
Yeah, like, close the door, but don't latch it.
Yeah.
That way the cat can paw it open.
Exactly.
Which has happened 3 times yesterday. She loves doing that. Well, Colin wasn't here yesterday, so she only had me, and we had playtime, but she clearly wanted more, so she pawed the door open.
Hey, Anyway, I think we're done.
No,
did we miss anything?
Did you mention your rating? Because you do that?
Yeah, 8.75.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I said, this one made me think a lot. This one made me think a lot in a very good way. Like it made me question everything I knew, and made me very excited to see how those questions will be answered, if they'll be answered.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious.
Well, stay curious.
I know, right? It's going to be interesting. We have no sign off.